There's a spring in the mountain and it flows down to the town.
From NPR Music and West Virginia Public Broadcasting, with support provided by Bailey Glasser and by the West Virginia Department of Tourism. Welcome to another Mountain Stage with your host, Kathy Mattea.
There's a song in my heart, just a simple little tune. But the rhythm and the melody won't leave me alone. Around the world it's just a simple song. This world is turning round, a simple song. Hello! Thank you. Hi, and welcome once again to Mountain Stage, live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. I'm Kathy Mattea, but we are not in the Mountain State this time. We are in beautiful Sonoma County at the Green Music Center here on the campus of Sonoma State University. It's our first venture out west since 1986, and folks, we have a show that was worth the trip. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and the master of the B3, Booker T. Jones, is here. In our next hour, the Roots music luminary Chris Smither will be with us. He's been coming on Mountain Stage since 1989. Still to come in this hour, Amber Rubarth joins us from New York's Hudson Valley with songs from her new project, Cover Crop. And a songwriter now based in Nashville who used to live not too far from here, the one and only Steve Poltz will be out in just a little bit. But we're going to start the show this week with a singer-songwriter who came up in the LA music scene in the early days of the legendary Troubadour Club, along with Jackson Browne and James Taylor and Elton John and a lot of other people. When Linda Ronstadt recorded her 1976 album, Hasten Down the Wind, it included 3 of her songs. She signed to Columbia Records in 1977 and started having hits of her own, including the #1, I Can't Hold On, and the ubiquitous song Home, which was covered by Bonnie Raitt, which we've all sung around many a campfire and song circle over the years. She's also written hits for many other artists, including All My Life for Linda Ronstadt and Aaron Neville, and Winona's Tell Me Why. Billboard magazine says, long before Alanis Morissette and Jewel, her earthly anthems of soul-searching heartache and joy touched souls in a way few can today. And she has brought this wonderful guitar player we've all known for many years, Nina Gerber, with her, who is a local. And we're so thrilled to have them on Mountain Stage. Please welcome Karla Bonoff.
Traveling at night, the headlights were bright, and we'd been up many an hour, and all through my brain came my refrain of home and its warm and fine, and home sings me a sweet thing. My life that has its own wings to fly over the mountain, though I'm standing still. The people I see that come in between the cities of time and light. The trains come and go, but inside you know the struggle will soon be a fight. its own wings to fly over the mountain. Though I'm standing still, traveling at night, the headlights were bright, but soon the sun came through the trees. Around the next bend, the flowers will sing the sweet scent of home in the breeze. Sings me of sweet things. My life that has its own wings to fly over the mountain. Though I'm standing still, Thank you. So yes, this is Nina Gerber on guitar over here. She didn't have to even get on an airplane today. That's cool. I'm going to play a tune I wrote for a movie, but they didn't use it. Then I put it on an album, and the record company went out of business. Then one day, Linda Ronstadt called me up, and she said, you know, I'm going to do an album with Aaron Neville. Do you have any tunes for us? And I thought about it, and I said, well, actually, I have one that would really work, but I don't know, I think it's cursed or something. They went ahead and recorded it, and they had a big hit, and they won a Grammy. And I stayed home and watched it on TV. Yep, okay. Anyway, it's called All My Life. Well, am I really here in your arms? This is just like I dreamed it would be. I feel like we're frozen in time, and you're the only one I can see. And hey, I've worked all my life for you, and now you're here. And hey, I'll spend all my life with you, all my life. And I never really knew how to love. I just hoped somehow I'd see. And oh, asked for a little help from above. Well, send that angel down to me. 'Cause hey, I never thought that I could feel a love so tender. I never thought I could let those feelings show. But now my heart is on my sleeve, and this love will never leave. I know, 'cause hey, thank you. There's somebody waiting alone in the street for someone to walk up and greet. Here you are, all alone in the sea. Where's the one that you took to your side? Lonely faces will stare through your eyes in the night, and they'll say, woman, sweet woman, please come home with me. You're shining and willing and free, but your love, it's a common occurrence, not like love that I feel in my heart. Still, you know that maybe what I need is someone to lay down beside me. And even though it's not real, someone to lay down beside me. And even though it's not real, just someone to lay down beside me. You're the story of my life. Morning is breaking, the street lights are on, the sun will soon share all the cars of a world that can be sort of heartless, not like love that you feel in your heart. Still someone to lay down beside you. And even though it's not real, just someone to lay down beside you. You just can't ask for more. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, so Mountain Stage. I did Mountain Stage like 30 years ago in Disney World. Yeah. It's hard for me to remember 30 years ago, but I think we were in Frontierland. With one of those lands. It was a little strange. So I grew up in Southern California, in a pretty cool time, I think, to be a musician. Lots of music everywhere. But I got to take guitar lessons from an amazing musician, Frank Hamilton. He was in the Weavers. And I started learning from him when I was about 15. And he taught me a lot of great old folk songs, a lot of stuff from the Weavers. And this one, it's an old Irish folk ballad, Scottish folk ballad, actually, I think. Anyway, I've been playing this since I was 15, and it's a wonderful old folk song called The Water is Wide. The water is wide, I can't cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row. My love and I, oh, love is gentle and love is kind. The sweetest flower when first it's new, but love grows old and waxes she sails the sea. She's loaded deep, as deep can be, but not as deep as the love I'm in. I know not how I sink or swim. The water is wide, I can't cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row. My love and I, and both shall row. My love and I. Thank you very much, Nina Gerber on guitar.
Karla Bonoff with Nina Gerber. In this room, so beautiful in this room. You hear that voice just carry all the way to the top rafter and the back wall. Just stunning. I feel like, you know, I've been listening to Karla's music all week, and some song will come on that I haven't heard in a long time, and I'll find my mouth singing words that I didn't know I remembered, you know. It's the soundtrack for many of our lives, and I feel lucky to have been able to hear her tonight. She, just as an aside, she signed her first record deal when she was 16. Yeah, she and her sister Lisa had a duo, and the record was never released. And then during the 70s, she formed a group with Wendy Waldman and Kenny Edwards and Andrew Gold called Brindle. And they signed with A&M, and they made a great record, and it was never released. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm really glad that she's got the tenacity to stick with it, because we all get rewarded. Her latest album is Carry Me Home, and Nina will be out with an album this fall called Time is Funny That Way. That was Karla Bonoff. It's time to welcome our singer, Julie Adams, to do a song for you. She'll be joined today, as always, by our great Mountain Stage band. That's Ron Soule. He's the leader of the band back there on acoustic guitar. Michael Lipton and Ryan Kennedy are our electric guitarists. Bob Thompson's at the piano. Steve Hill is playing the bass. And back there on the drums is Ahmed Solomon. Yeah. Julie's going to do Neil Young's song, Comes a Time, for you.
When you're drifting, comes a time when you settle down. Comes a light, feelings lifting, lift that baby right up off the ground. Oh, this whole world keeps spinning round. It's a wonder tall trees comes a time, comes a time, there comes a time.
That was Julie Adams with Neil Young's Comes a Time. You're listening to Mountain Stage, live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. Remember, if you missed part of Mountain Stage or you want to hear something again, visit the podcast section of mountainstage.org. Each podcast includes songs not heard on the radio and usually the complete finale song. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and leave a review wherever it is that you listen. Next up is a Canadian-American singer-songwriter and force of nature. In him is a seemingly endless fountain of creative energy, and he sees his job as surfing the wave of what comes, or as he puts it, I just make stuff up. He averages 300 plus days a year on the road, and his live shows are where he truly shines. The Associated Press calls him part busker, part Iggy Pop, and part Robin Williams. He first hit the national spotlight when he co-wrote Jewel's multi-platinum hit, You Were Meant for Me, and he still works with her to this day. He has a brand new album produced by Oliver Wood and Jano Ricks of the Wood Brothers called Stardust and Satellites. They started hanging out during COVID at outdoor gatherings and jams in Nashville where they all live. He says it was a joyful diversion during a boring-ass year. Please welcome back to the Mountain Stage, the one and only Steve Poltz.
You're about to watch a show starring me. I don't know what you're about to hear or see. The truth is I have no plan at all. There's a good chance that off this stage I'll fall. My body ain't quite what it used to be. My hair ain't the color it once was. My style icon is Emmylou Harris mixed with a little Don Was. I lie on stage, I lie in songs, I lay my troubles down. Hey, stick it out with me, kid, I mean, what else is there to do in this godforsaken, deep-fried bacon town? Yeah, you bought the tickets, you paid the cash, you got in the car, you moved your ass, you brought a friend or an awkward date, something you love that they're probably gonna hate. It's music, sweet music. I'm emo, I'm screamo, I'm country, and I'm folk Americana. If you wanna, I'm old-fashioned, but I'm woke. I'm everything to everyone, I'm Jesus, and I'm Buddha too. Don't panic, I'm organic, too scared to be satanic. But mostly I'm just here to sing for you. Well, I played a lot of shows across this world, but tonight's the best I'll ever play. I'm handing you a pearl. My G-string might snap in two. My face might turn from red to white to blue. But it's not because I'm dying, hey, I'm just patriotic. Well, we all connect like Legos, yeah, we all are symbiotic. I die on stage, I cry on songs, I throw my troubles down. Hey, stick it it out with me, kid. I mean, what else is there to do in this craft beer making, earthquake shaking town? Yeah, you bought the tickets, you paid the cash, you got in the car, you moved your ass, you brought a friend or an awkward date, something you love that they're definitely gonna hate. It's music, sweet music. I'm emo, I'm screamo, I'm Grateful Dead, post-stroke, Americana. If you wanna, I'm old-fashioned, but I'm broke. I'm everything to everyone, I'm Jesus and I'm Buddha too. Don't panic, I'm organic, too scared to be satanic. But mostly tonight in Roanoke Park, California for Mountain Stage Throw, I'm here to sing for you. Well, I know what you're thinking, what the hell? This guy just wrote a whole entire song about himself. And the truth is, I do it all the time. But for me, it's therapeutic, and I hope that you don't mind. Well, I probably owe you money, cause you're my therapist. I'm kinda like your escort away from all of this. I die on stage, I cry in songs, I try to work it out. Hey, stick it out with me, kid, I mean, what else is there to do in this hemp clothes making, tincture taking, sourdough baking, late day waking, spare change taking, traffic making, release the kraken. I must be mistaken, I'm in the wrong town. Yeah. How was your, did you hear about that whole thing that happened? It was crazy, wasn't it? I got sent to my room for 2 years. Can you imagine what that did to me? 2 years. I couldn't go anywhere. We'd get groceries delivered. My wife would scrub bananas. It was crazy. I'm like a wild, uncaged animal now. And I'm so happy I'm a part of this show because what about Karla Bonoff, man? I used to make out with this girl named Hallie Rothstein years ago to her song, Someone to Lay Down Beside Me, and I was having complete flashbacks of Hallie Rothstein. And I was having flashbacks just being in Northern California. Last night I was in Milwaukee on stage at this time, and now I'm here. It's crazy. And I walked here. But it's so fun being able to play my guitar for you guys because, guitar has always been my best friend. I've played since I was 6 years old. It's what I've always done. And my first guitar teacher came over to the house, and he knocked on the door, and I'll never forget it. I was 6 years old. It was like, and I answered the front door, and I remember I was holding my dad's hand. My dad was 6'1", and the guitar teacher came in, and he was limping. He was like 80 years old, and the first thing he did was he said, "Knock your hand on my wooden leg." So I did, and I was just blown away. And then the second thing he did was he popped out his glass eye. And he asked me if I wanted to hold it. But I was too scared. And I've always regretted that. So, about 4 months ago I was playing. You ever heard of Michigan? I was in a state called Michigan. And in a city called Traverse City. So I had this song on Billy String's record, Redemption, that I wrote with Billy. So I was out there working on some stuff, and this promoter said, "I want you to do some shows with this other guy, Sean Mullins, and another guy named Chris Barron from Spin Doctors." And so he said, "Listen, my daughter's going to pick you up at the airport. She's 21 years old. She'll know what you look like. Just be ready for a girl named Caroline." So I'm in the baggage claim in Traverse City, and this girl says, "Are you Steve?" And I go, "Yeah." And I couldn't help but notice she had a prosthetic eye. I could just tell. Now, my dad always said my gatekeeper was asleep that keeps the words from coming out. And you guys, I couldn't help it. So I go, do you have a glass eye? And she says, well, yes, but I can't believe you just asked me that. And I said, well, my first guitar teacher had a wooden leg and a glass eye, and I've always regretted not holding it. And then I stood there like a hungry person with my hand out, like that. And it was just terribly awkward. So she says to me, listen, you're doing 4 shows. If you're really good, after the 4th show, I'll let you hold my glass eye. Well, I have never played better in my life. I was the best I'd ever been because I knew there was a reward waiting. So we finished the show, and her parents call me backstage, and they say, Steve, we have something for you. And Caroline comes down the stairs. It's like a David Lynch movie, and she's got an eye patch on. And she comes down the stairs, and she hands me her eye. And I get to hold it, and they take pictures. And I felt like this was the reason I became a folk singer, right? Like everything came full circle. And I started crying. I was so happy. So just when I thought it couldn't get any better, I flew out to Australia to play Byron Bay Blues Fest. And they flew out to see me because they like my music. And guess what? Caroline wanted a new eye because she wanted it off color, like David Bowie's eyes that didn't match color. So they flew out and brought me her eye and drilled a hole through it. And they put it on a chain that I wear around my neck. Check this out. I'm not kidding. I can't make this stuff up. So now she's always with me. It's the coolest thing. It's why I got into this business. So what I'm wondering tonight is, what are you guys gonna give me? I would like to cut off someone's little finger and freeze dry it and add it to my chain of souvenirs. I made a list of everything I did during the old pandemic, and I'd like to sing that song for you. This is called Quarantine Blues. I baked 100 loaves of bread, I fell down on my head, I vacuumed till I sweated, ate food that I regretted, I sat near the fire wearing questionable attire. I made a new incision to improve my circumcision, yeah. My hair's unruly and I learned to make tabbouleh, it felt kinda groovy, watched every single movie. You know I've been depressed, I never even got dressed, I was feeling full of pity, so I joined a subcommittee, I learned the word abrogation, tried to find a new vocation, searched the whole skyscraper, trying to steal some toilet paper, made a bong out of a peach, learned to brush my teeth with bleach, I prayed for a vaccine, I learned about hydroxychloroquine, yeah. I was sitting on the toilet trying to get some unemployment, I stayed in the bathroom for a meeting on Zoom, forgot I wasn't wearing pants, did a little dance, I was jiggling down below and everybody got a free show. I wore my sleeve on my heart, I found a new body part, I learned about zinc sulfate and how to meditate. I was naked in a cape, I tried to do some manscape, I lost a little bit of blood, but I still felt like a stud, I high-fived a little kid, I thought I got COVID, listened to Jerry Garcia, made my own tortilla, found a new cake mix, I checked my body for ticks, got run over by a bus and a tornado almost killed us, oh yeah. I became unemployed, started getting paranoid. I was eating a burrito and got bit by a mosquito. Grew a garden full of cheer, got cauliflower ear. I read all of Macbeth and I learned how to cook meth. I drew my curtains shut, I was acting like a nut. I've been growing out my stubble, I've been living in a bubble. Everything was unbearable, started feeling terrible. Thought I should buy a gun, instead I got a man bun. I got to get some social distance to help with my existence. Need some logical assistance to a path of least resistance. Feeling undesirous and no one wants to hire us. I learned every song by Miley Cyrus and all about coronavirus. I'm a midnight lurker, I'm a least essential worker. You don't even have to ask, I use my undies for a mask. Well, you know I understand, I gotta wash my hands. Might have worms, but I don't have demon sperms. I got a stimulus check, but I feel like a wreck. I become a decent cook, I read every single book. I might blast off, but I cover my cough. My pants are getting baggy and I'm looking kinda shaggy, I'm a king of innuendo, I can make a big crescendo. You know, I cut my hair, but I just don't care. Maybe I should join the Navy, I should give myself a shave. He accidentally got a COVID kiss, I think I need an exorcist. Help! I don't really want a button, but I'm feeling like a shut-in. I've been sweating in my body and I'm looking kinda snotty. Need a nurse, I suppose, to shove a Q-tip up my nose. I'm getting kinda grouchy, I'm in love with Dr. Fauci. I guess I could steal a tank or maybe go and rob a bank and watch my arteries harden till I get a pardon. I don't need to wear shoes, guess I'll hit snooze. I was born to lose, I got the quarantine blues. This is the greatest show I've ever played. Oh, man. Don't ever come see me again. I'll never be this good again. It's all downhill. If I see any of you at a future show, I'll kick you out because I'm just going to let you down. All right. So during the old pandemic and everything, I lost my dad. I miss him so much. You would have loved him. Joe Poltz. He made it to 90 years old, and his mind was sharp till the day he died. And I would sing songs to him all the time with my mom. My mom died a year before my dad, and so they're both gone now. But man, before my dad died, he knew he was going to go. And the doctors said, you know, you could get your kidneys drained. You know how they do that dialysis? And he said, I don't want to do that. I'm ready to go meet Winnie. My mom was Winnie. And he was just done. So I knew he had like 5 days left, so it was like a blessing because I got to be with him. And I remember I was holding his hand, and it was Thanksgiving, and I didn't cook a dinner, and my dad was starting to cross over to the other side. And then just like my first guitar lesson, there was a knock at the door again. But this time, it was my friend Matt Donahue, and he brought over, in the words of Arlo Guthrie, a Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat. And I was thinking, my dad's not going to get this. And I was sad. But then you know how in the cartoons you see this food and the smell going up the person's nose and they open their eyes? That was my dad. And he looked at my friend, and my friend's 6'6", 350 pounds. And my dad sits up and he goes, are you a sumo wrestler? And he says, no, Mr. Poltz, I brought over a Thanksgiving dinner for you and your son. He goes, did you bring a turkey leg? He says, yeah. Cranberry sauce? Yeah. Stuffing? Yeah. Pumpkin pie? And my dad ate that last meal, and it was beautiful. And before my friend left, my dad says, you want to hear some Shakespeare? My friend says, okay. And my dad says, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps into this petty time. Then he does another poem. And my friend leaves. And then the next morning, my dad's about to cross over, and I was holding his hand, and he looked up at me, and he goes, we sure had some fun, didn't we? And I go, yeah, we did, Dad, and my tears are coming down. And then he says, listen, and he coughs, and he goes, Bahootensie. I said, Dad, what is Bahootensie? He goes, I just made it up. It means many blessings. Let's go nuts. And I go, okay. And I go, Dad, if there's anything on the other side, please leave me a message. He says, what do you want it to be? And I said, Indian Joe, because my dad had a poem called Indian Joe. So he says, I'll leave you a message from Indian Joe if there's anything on the other side. And then right before he dies, he says, come here, closer, closer. And he whispers in my ear, tell that sumo wrestler it wasn't Shakespeare. And I go, what? The sumo wrestler with the turkey leg. The second poem I did was Richard Lovelace to Lucasta on going to the wars. I forgot to tell him, the proper author. Make sure you tell him. And then he goes, I still got it, Stevie boy. It was crazy. And I was sobbing, and I was looking for a sign from Indian Joe. And I was in a weird hotel, and I got up in the middle of the night. 5 months later, somebody sent me a text, a poster of my old band, the Rugburns from San Diego. And we had played a show with a band called Green Day, and Billy Joe had shared all his beer with me. And he said, remember this show? And he took a picture of an ad in a newspaper from the 90s. But he didn't know this. Nobody knew this. Next to it was an article from the 90s, and it said, Indian Joe traveling the world with acoustic guitar. And it was a picture of a guy like this. So I'm here to tell all you Mountain Stage folks, there's something going on and we don't know about it. So I wrote this for my mom and dad. We're all on a conveyor belt in a factory on the wheel of time. Yeah, we don't know when our cart clock's out. It was yesterday, we were in our prime. Mic-mac, click-clack, don't even think about looking back. Kodak, soundtrack, I remember when my ma had a heart attack. We were all on a conveyor belt in a factory on the wheel of time. Yeah, we don't know when our cart clock's out. It was yesterday, we were in our prime. Tic-tac, tic-tac-toe, hey, I'm still looking for Indian Joe. Where the hell did my dad go? Maybe where the river and the rainbow flow. Yeah, maybe where the river and the rainbow go. Yakety-yak at the top of the tree. My love's got a money-back guarantee. I'm living now in Tennessee, but I still scream Bootsy. Hey, let's go join the Jubilee. Don't let the time run out on me. My mom and dad have gone to sea. We're all on the conveyor belt in a factory on the wheel of time. Yeah, we don't know when our cart clock's out. It was yesterday, we were in our prime. We're all on the conveyor belt in a factory on the wheel of time. Yeah, we don't know when our cart clock's out. It was yesterday, we were in our prime. Seems like yesterday we were in our prime. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to end on this song. You guys are a wonderful audience. I made my last record with the Wood Brothers, and it's been a busy year for me. I had a song on a Grammy-winning record that I wrote with my buddy Molly Tuttle, so that was good. But working with the Wood Brothers, making this record was the highlight of my year. And we were done with the record, and I said to John O'Ricks, the drummer, I said, can you give me a beat when I go home? I want to write a song. I know we're done with the record. And this beat inspired me to write this song. And they said, we're including this on the record. We had to kick an old song off. So this is called Can of Pop, and I'm stoked to play it with the great Mountain Stage Band. We have never played this together. What you are about to witness is a high wire act. Honey, let me open up a can of pop. I'm rusty like an old horseshoe. I've been working on the engine in old shop. I wanna feel the busy rhythm with you. Had a chance to meet my love in Opelousas, but I ended up drunk in Albuquerque. Tried to fill her head with a bunch of lame excuses. I think she knows I wanna do the herky jerky. I'm rusty like an old horseshoe. I've been working on the engine in old shop. I wanna feel the fizzy rhythm with you. So I asked to try to meet me out in Natchitoches, but a monster chased me down in Chacalaco. Then I jumped and sprained my ankle on a catfish. Now she left me for some drummer she calls Paco. Honey, let me open up a can of pop. I'm rusty like an old horseshoe. I've been working on the engine in an old shop. Wanna feel the fizzy rhythm with you. Let my Bordeaux at the chateau. Let my chapeau down in Tupelo. Lost my left eye from a crossbow, and my wallet way up in Gatineau. So after saying what the heck, I ended up in Quebec. I passed out in the rain and ended up in a train from Montana to Savannah. Woke up in Louisiana, shouted a hosanna, and I slipped on a banana. Gave my girl a nod and said, glory be to God. Open up a can of pop. I'm rusty like an old horseshoe. I've been working on the engine, old chop. Feel the busy rhythm with you. So I finally talked her into going to Kickapoo. At the motel we did a little research. My father found out and his face turned blue. Now we're getting married over at the Catholic Church. Honey, let me open up a can of pop. I'm rusty like an old horseshoe. I've been working on the engine, old chop. Feel the fizzy rhythm with you. I wanna feel the fizzy rhythm with you. I wanna feel the fizzy rhythm with you. Thanks, everybody. Woo. This band.
Steve Poltz. Lord have mercy, I feel like that is what joy looks like when it gets bottled into someone's body. He's co-written with all kinds of bluegrass phenoms like Molly Tuttle and my secret musical crush, Billy Strings, and Sierra Hull and Oliver Wood and Mojo Nixon and all kinds of people. And it's just really fun to see somebody with so much creative energy just like surfing it in their life. And I keep thinking, does he wake up in the middle of the night and all those words go through his head when he's staring at the ceiling? His new album is called Stardust and Satellites, and he put a little note on the bottom of a little sign-in sheet that we had. He said he's doing a Canadian tour in November, he's going to Italy in October, Australia next March, Mars in April, and Pluto in May. That was Steve Poltz. We hope you'll take a look at our website, mountainstage.org. There you'll find links to our podcast, and you can follow us on just about every form of social media. And of course, we invite you to follow us to our next live show. You can find out where we'll be and get your tickets at mountainstage.org. Our next guest has toured solo across much of the world, from America to South Africa, Europe, and Japan. She grew up in California, and she left home at 17 and moved to Nevada to become a chainsaw sculptor. You know, like you do. 3 years later, she quit to start playing guitar and writing songs. In 2018, she was part of the feature film American Folk, which won a bunch of festival awards. And she's helped to found several groups, including the Paper Raincoat, which is a Brooklyn-based band. They were in a lot of TV shows, several TV shows. And an all-female folk trio called Applewood Road, which has had some great success in the UK. Her latest album is Cover Crop. Please welcome to the Mountain Stage, Amber Rubarth.
Thank you, thank you. I flew out here yesterday from New York, and I decided to look on Airbnb for something creative, and I found a treehouse in a redwood, which I slept in last night, and I feel like the whole day today I've just been like in this kind of ancient mystery space, floaty, beautiful. Has anybody lived in a treehouse in a redwood before? No? Highly recommend it.
Do you remember in December? It was the last day of the year. We heard the water under the ice, under the moon, as we were standing there. And sometimes we just have to listen. Sometimes we just have to stare. Sometimes just what we need is already here. I felt your heartbeat in my heartbeat. I saw your history in your eyes, and it reminds me what we both knew. Like a cocoon knows a butterfly, and sometimes we just have to listen. Sometimes we just have to stare. Sometimes just what we need is already here. There are questions that have no answers. There are answers that aren't for us. We learn our lessons right on time. Find our truth when we start to trust. And sometimes we just have to listen. Sometimes we just have to stare. Sometimes just what we need is already here. already here. Already here.
Thank you so much. How is everybody tonight? What a beautiful, beautiful space. It's so nice here. Is anybody here on a first date or new love? It's like one person from the couple over there. This is it, but you all know it. You all know it. It's this is about those first moments when like everything that the person does is just the greatest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. And you're like, oh my God, when they do this, it's so incredible. And then your friends are seeing the same thing and they're like, that might be a red flag.
We ducked into the bar room to sneak out of the rain. He recognized every girl around. Drank whiskey with Maria, then he danced the night away with some country girl he knew from out of town. Loving eyes, these loving eyes only see one thing. He says he's staying true, and so blindly I believe. Hope these loving eyes don't get the best of me. We walked back to my house, he stumbled in, grabbed a beer and laid down next to me. His hair was in a mess and his shirt was inside out. Oh my man, he ain't never looked so sweet. Loving eyes, these loving eyes only see one thing. I'm turning down the lights and he's turning up the heat. Hope these loving eyes don't get the best of me. Loving eyes, oh, loving eyes. These loving eyes only see one thing. He says he's staying true, and so blindly I believe. Hope these loving eyes don't get the best of me. I hope these loving eyes don't get the best of me. I hope these loving eyes don't get the best of me.
Thank you. So excited to sing with these beautiful two ladies. We're gonna do a song from this new album that I just put out, which is a cover album with all the songs woven into a story about kind of our disconnect from nature and then reconnection. And it's never sounded prettier than when the two of you are on it.
You belong among the wildflowers, lover. Go away somewhere bright and new. I have seen no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. You belong with your love on your arm. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, go find a lover. Run away, let your heart be your guide. You deserve the deepest of cover. You belong in that home by and by. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere close to me, far away from your trouble and worry. You belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere you feel free.
Oh, this is so much fun. We have the Mountain Stage Band. So this is a song that I wrote. Kathy mentioned that I was part of a movie, which was kind of a crazy experience. I didn't even grow up with the TV, and I haven't seen a lot of movies. And I got asked by the director, who had seen a video of me singing on YouTube, if I would try out for this film that was going across the country from LA to New York City in an old van that we later found out broke down all the time in real life. And it ended up being cast with my boyfriend at the time, as the two of us were like the leads, and we broke up the first day that we started filming. I don't think I've ever actually said that out loud, but it was quite a journey. The thing that I walked away from the whole experience with was just how much beauty you can have in connection with strangers. You know, sometimes you will meet somebody and you have like a minute with them or a few minutes with them, and they just leave a deep impression in your heart. And we traveled around and filmed the whole way and just had these beautiful, beautiful experiences with people who, a lot of them made it in the movie. So this is a song about that. The film is called American Folk. I think it's on Amazon. But this is called Towns. Another state line, another page. Day turns to night, turns into day.
Arizona desert, Oklahoma plains, follow the blue highways, singing that town's Van's in, passing another round, watching the stars above, sleeping on the same cold ground. The weight of my worried mind, the melody lifts away, and all of these folks I find in my heart they'll stay. La di da di da di da di da di da di da. La di da di da di da di da. I traveled alone for so many days, through sunshine and pouring rain. But since you've been around, these roads have all changed, and these songs sound new again. Singing that town's Van's in, passing another round, watching the stars above, sleeping on the same cold ground. The weight of my worried mind, the melody lifts away. All of these folks I find in my heart they'll stay. Singing that town's Van's in, passing another round, watching the stars above, sleeping on the same cold ground. Weight of my worried mind, the melody lifts away. All of these folks I find in my heart they'll stay. La di da di da. Da di da di da di da, la di da di da di da di da, la di da di da di da di da di da di da, la di da di da di da di da.
The Mountain Stage Band.
All right, I have one more really quick song for you. And there's an owl that lives out by my house, and I'm kind of in love with it. And this song is, I'm not sure if it's about the owl or if it's about other love, but it's called Wild Bird. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird. Comes to my window, sings in the night, whistles with the wind and dances with the sky, just till the
moon sinks 'neath the pines, and my wild bird disappears into the night. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird. I hear stories round the world, people getting a glimpse, little visitations as the nighttime ends. Some try to catch her feathers so bright, forgetting that her beauty is when she's in flight. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird. I fell in love with a wild bird, wild bird.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to play with all you.
Amber has done all kinds of different performances. She's collaborated with the Ithaca Chamber Orchestra for arrangements of all of her songs. She's sung on the stage of Carnegie Hall doing a duet with Jason Mraz. And she's opened for a flea circus at a Texas theme park. She's on tour now through Europe, Japan, and the US, and she says she has a new album coming next spring. Her latest album is Cover Crop. That was Amber Rubarth. We'd like to say a special hello to you right now if you're listening over WUMB in Boston, Massachusetts, and on KRCB right here in Rohnert Park, California. Thank you so much. We hope you can join us next week when we come to you from Clarksburg, West Virginia, with Tony Trishka's Earl Jam, the Jason Carter Band, Jerry Douglas, the Watson Twins, and the Davison Brothers Band. This is Kathy Mattea, and you're listening to Mountain Stage, live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. Mountain Stage is supported in part by this station and by West Virginia Public Broadcasting. Hotel accommodations for Mountain Stage guests are provided by the Charleston Marriott Town Center Hotel, centrally located for the business and pleasure traveler in downtown Charleston's retail district. This is Mountain Stage from NPR. Hello again, and welcome to the second hour of Mountain Stage. I'm Kathy Mattea, and I'm so glad you joined us. We are on the West Coast this week at the Green Music Center, thanks to an invite from Sonoma State University. And if you're just joining us, you will be very glad you did. Still to come, we're going to hear from the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and his band, Booker T. Jones. But we're going to start this second hour with a folk and blues music icon who's been making records for over 5 decades. He has toured steadily since the beginning, building an ever bigger following and establishing himself as one of the most respected acoustic musicians in the country. His songs have been covered by the likes of Emmylou Harris, Bonnie Raitt, Diana Krall, and more. He has a distinctive guitar sound, born from delving into the playing of Lightnin' Hopkins and Mississippi John Hurt in his youth. His latest album is More from the Levee, and it's a follow-up to his 2014 career retrospective called Still on the Levee. He's been coming to be on Mountain Stage since 1989. This is his 17th time on the show. Yeah, baby. Please welcome back to the stage our dear friend, Chris Smither.
17 times. You see what happens when you keep getting up in the morning? I've been blind. She's been kind, but she knows at times I forget to see. Through a cold, dark cloud, imaginary shroud, shadows that settle over me. I once was smart, way back at the start. I offered her my body and my soul. Thought in my heart that it would tear me apart, but it made me whole. Keep it simple, keep it clear, that's what we like to hear. She don't argue, she don't analyze. If I say it's so, it's so. She don't want to know if it's a metaphor for something in disguise. She let me know a long time ago, it's better to say just what I mean. Truth to tell, it can hurt like hell, but it keeps me clean. Keeps me clean. My guiding star, oh, I don't stray far. I keep her in my mind and in my eye. I've been lost before, never anymore. I just look up at that compass in the sky. I had my fears way back in the early years, that I had locked me up and thrown away the key. Lost my mind to those ties that bind, but they set me free. Yeah, they set me free. Yeah, she's fast. I know I'll never last. She's by me now, but I don't really mind. I ought to know I move so slow, My shadow often kicks me from behind. But I once was fast, back in a distant past, in a mighty demonstration of my will. I kissed her twice at the speed of light. Time stood still. I kissed her twice at the speed of light. Man, in time stood still. Well, this next one is the kind of song you write when you've been listening to too much Jimmy Reed. Now, you'll notice there's a certain percentage of the audience that thinks there's no such thing as too much Jimmy Reed. There's another percentage of the audience, maybe a little bit larger, that says, who's Jimmy Reed? Fabulous R&B artist from the 50s and early 60s. I used to have a tape of an interview that he did on the radio talking about his songs, his whole history. He had hit after hit. And he's the only man I ever heard, well, not the only man I ever heard, but he's remarkable in that his speaking voice sounded exactly like his singing voice. It was just, and he talked like this. It's crazy. And so the guy who was interviewing him says, all right, now we're at 1959, Jimmy, and you know what that was? Jimmy says, yeah, I do. He says, that was, baby, what you want me to do? And Jimmy goes, yeah, baby, what you want me to do? I got to be honest with you. I didn't write that song. My wife wrote that song. What do you mean, Jimmy? Well, I was lying on the couch one day, and she come in, and she says, are you still lying on the couch? And I said, yes, I am. She says, lying on the couch, lying on the couch, lying on the couch. And I said, well, baby, what you want me to do? And she said, baby, what you want me to do? Baby, what you want me to do? I said, all right, I got it. And then you hear him sing the song, and here's what it sounds like. He goes, going up, going down, going up, down, down, up, anywhere you want me to roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, baby, what you want me to do? I said, anyway, I'll let you. Anyway. When I think that I know nothing, it's all feeling. My friends keep me down to ground and peel me off the ceiling. And that's what's so surprising. They used to seem so shy. I only know, 'cause so am I. It keeps me hanging around, keeps me up on the lowdown, up on the lowdown. 'Cause I've been closer listening, now I can hear you. All that stuff that I've been missing, it warms me. Now I'm near you, and that's what's so surprising. You used to seem so cold. I only know what I've been told. I hear it down in town. Keep me up on the lowdown, up on the lowdown. I might try to scream and cry just to test you. Something makes me listen in, rushes to my rescue, and that's what's so surprising. It all seems so well timed that it would shake a more suspicious mind, but I just like the sound that keeps me up on the lowdown, up on the lowdown. This simple secret is the key to my attraction. Makes me feel like such a king. It gets me all the action, and that's what's so surprising. Nobody has to know, 'cause I can keep it hid. It hardly shows underneath my crown. Keep me up on the lowdown, up on the lowdown. I'm up on the lowdown. Keep me up on the lowdown, way up on the lowdown. I'm up on the lowdown, way up on the lowdown. Well, Kathy said I've been working all those decades. I hate to stop thinking about, I've got to stop thinking about how old I am. I've noticed it's happened in my songwriting. I'm starting to get morbid. Here's a kind of a new one for you. It's not kind of new, it's very new. I think it's 2 weeks old. You got to forgive me for doing these things so fresh, you know, but I got to learn how to play them sometime, you know. So this is called All About the Bones. Consider your high station, think about your fame, all of your creation depending on your frame. There ain't no doubt about it, the flesh can set the tone, but when you get down to the rhythm, you get right down to the bone. It's all about the bones, all about the bones, all about the bones. It's all about the bones. Well, some can make you stronger, others make you tall. I don't make no bones about it, yeah, they got some don't work at all. Some will make you ugly, others make you smile. It don't matter, they all clatter when they end up on the pile. It's all about the bones, all about the bones, all about the bones. It's all about the bones. Grim Reaper comes a-calling, says it's time to go. You say, okay, I'm coming, but you moving mighty slow. You say I don't belong here, they told me I was saved. He points one bony finger, he says, get back in your grave. It's all about the bones, all about the bones, all about the bones. It's all about the bones. Now down at the graveyard. You got your handsome stone with your names and all your numbers, yeah, but there ain't nobody home. It says here lies the body, but body there be none. Used to be somebody, now it's nothing but the bones. It's all about the bones, all about the bones, all about the bones. It's all about the bones. It's all about the bones. Yeah, right from the beginning, it was all about the bones. Thank you, thank you. Well, here's a song. You know, this is a song that I didn't even mean to write, but you know, we went down to New Orleans. I grew up in New Orleans, and we went back down there to do this retrospective album that Kathy mentioned, and I was really happy to do a retrospective because it meant I didn't have to write anything. You know, so I have trouble with that sometimes. We hadn't been down there more than 3 days, having a wonderful time, visiting a lot of my old friends, and David Goodrich, my producer, comes up to me and he says, "Chris, you got to write a song for this project." And I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Yeah, come on, man, we're in your hometown, you know, we got all these friends of ours around playing good music, and come on, just write something about New Orleans." So I did, because one of the most frequent questions I get, like in interviews, is, "Chris, how did growing up in New Orleans affect your music?" And I don't know, you know. It's not something I pay attention to, you know. That's something other people are supposed to notice. And to me, it's just what I do, you know. So here's a little harmless little ditty for you called "What I Do." I should mention that in New Orleans, we often refer to the town as NOLA, N-O-L-A, New Orleans, Louisiana. Down in NOLA where we listen, some of that and some of this, in keys beyond the normal range. Everything's a little strange, it's mostly just a place to be. Got to leave it for you, see it sticks to you. I left before you did me in, down and dirty, don't begin to talk about my state of mind. All I wanted was to find a way to get between that funky and that played cleaner too. Hey, forget about my feelings, I don't mind, but don't forget that second line. They say, "Can't you come on out and play? Let's see what you got today." How you make it sound that way, I never know just what to say. It's beans and rice and sticky nights and etouffee to keep it in the groove. It just comes out that way, won't go back in like gumbo running down your chin. Feeling's just a little thin, but slick as glass, dark as sin, with downbeats on the upside, just to take you for a ride and make it move. Oh, I see, they say, well, no wonder, it's a miracle you ain't 6 feet under. Fish don't understand the water, they just do the things they ought to. Birds don't understand the air, they don't even know it's there. They don't have a clue, but just like me, they do the things they do. It's what I do, it's what I do, it's what I do. Well, another thing I noticed about having played for 6 decades I'm not only getting a little morbid, but I'm getting a little sentimental. And that shows up in the tunes, too. But even my cat's getting more sentimental, you know. At least that's what the mice say. So here's another new one for you. And this is called Still Believe in You. And I'll leave you with this. Thank you very much. When the sun goes down and I wonder, was it ever rising? And the moonlight falls on some never-to-be-seen horizon. My heart sinks again, my will bend to the thought that I'm done before I've really begun. There's just one thing that keeps me kicking this drum. One thing makes me see it through. Just one thing I hold like emotional gold. I still believe in you. There's some who live and they'll take credit for their own survival. Some will die and they'll take credit for their own revival. They live on their own, they die all alone. They think they carried the load. They think that nothing is owed. I once believed that I could live that way, but I've tried it and it isn't true. I will not grow old without a hand to hold. I still believe in you, still believe in you. There are things I believe I could not begin to prove. I believe in mountains that a little bit of faith will move. I can't say how I know, I just believe it's so. Just a thing that I feel, and I believe it's real. There's one thing I know that doesn't always show, but I think you know it too. As long as I believe that you believe in me, I will believe in you. I still believe in you.
He has been the subject of a tribute record by fellow artists. There's a coffee table book of his lyrics. He's toured as part of a folk supergroup also called Monsters of Folk with Ramblin' Jack Elliott, Dave Alvin, and Tom Russell. That's how it's done, folks, with just a guitar and tapping your feet on the floor and putting words and music together. His latest album is More from the Levee. That was Chris Smither. It's time for our pianist, Bob Thompson, to play for you now. Tonight he's going to do a song written by Henry Glover called Drown in My Own Tears. Please welcome Bob Thompson. You can find his music at colortones.com. That was Bob Thompson doing a classic by Henry Glover, been recorded by Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin and lots of folks, called Drowning My Own Tears. You're listening to Mountain Stage, live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. If you have questions or suggestions for us, our email address is feedback@mountainstage.org. You can also connect with us on Facebook and Twitter and peek behind the scenes on our Instagram. You can find all those links at our website, mountainstage.org. Well, we're going to close the show tonight with one of the legends of soul music. He's a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the recipient of 4 Grammys, including a Lifetime Achievement Grammy. That's a big deal. He is a multi-instrumentalist, musical prodigy, producer, composer, and arranger, famous for his mastery of the B3 organ. As the house band at the famed Stax Records in Memphis, he and his band played on dozens of hits by Otis Redding and Wilson Pickett and Sam and Dave and many, many more. He started playing professionally around Memphis clubs when he was 14 years old. And he had his first hit, Green Onions, when he was still in high school. He moved to Los Angeles in the early 70s and went on to produce many albums, including classics like Willie Nelson's enduring album, Stardust, and the first album for our beloved fellow West Virginian Bill Withers. More recently, he's recorded a collaboration with The Roots. He's worked with the Drive-By Truckers, toured with Neil Young. He's put out a memoir called Time is Tight, My Life Note by Note. His credits as a composer, arranger, producer, and player read like a walk through the last 50-plus years of music. From Billy Idol to Stephen Stills, Neil Young, Macy Gray, Johnny Winter, Steve Perry, Ray Charles, and folks, that's just scratching the surface. His latest album is Note by Note. Please welcome to the mountain stage, Booker T. Jones.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. Thank you so much. Let me introduce my friends to you. Please welcome on guitar my son, Ted Jones. And please welcome on drums, Ty Dennis. And on bass, please welcome Melvin Branham. This first song comes from 1967 in Memphis, Tennessee, by Booker T and the MGs, called Hip Hugger. Thank you so much. And so that was Memphis, Tennessee, and 1967. We played a few more years, Booker T and the MGs did, and finally made the decision that our songs started sounding the same, so we went to New York City and made this next song at A&R Studios in New York, and it is called Melting Pot. Thank you so much. Melting Pot, featuring Ted Jones and Melvin Branham. So this next song was a song from 1967 that I had the pleasure of playing piano on to accompany Otis Redding, entitled Dock of the Bay, Sitting on Dock of the Bay. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when evening comes, watching the ships roll in, and I watch them roll away again. Yeah, I'm just sitting on dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay. Now I have nothing to live for, and it looks like nothing gonna come my way. So I'm just sitting on dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on dock of the bay, wasting time. Look like nothing gonna change. Everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to, so I guess I'll remain the same. Sitting here resting my bones, and the loneliness won't leave me alone. Sitting on dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on dock of the bay, wasting time. Sitting on dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on dock of the bay, wasting time. Thank you. Thank you so much. I was standing out on Macklemore Avenue, taking a break to smoke a cigarette, and I saw this car pull up, the station wagon from Georgia, and this guy got out and started unloading guitars and suitcases and so forth, and he said, he was working for Johnny Jenkins and the Pine Toppers, came from Macon, Georgia. And it was Otis Redding, and he was the driver. And he happened to come in and sit down next to the organ there, and Johnny and those guys did their session, and he said, "Can I sing a song?" Of course, no, you can't sing a song. Of course not. And he sat there next to me and started singing that song. And that just changed the afternoon completely. And I was supposed to be playing at the Flamingo Club at 9 p.m. I was late for that. And we just changed everything for him to record that song. And that's my story about Otis Redding. And to continue, well, that was 1967. Going back all the way now to 1962, when I was 17 years old, I was taking theory lessons to try to figure out how to pass the jury at Indiana University, taking theory lessons in 12th grade, 11th grade, music theory because my grandfather had mandated that we all go to college, and I had saved up $900 and sent it to Indiana to pay for my first tuitions. And Mr. Pender started teaching us the major third, the minor third, the second, and the first. Experimenting with that, I came up with this little pattern and the four. Oh, that sounds interesting. So that became the B-side of our first single, Booker T and the MGs at Stax Records, those chords. It was entitled Green Onions. I'd like you to hear that. Thank you so much. You're so kind. This next song is the theme from the motion picture Uptight, entitled Time is Tight. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
That was Booker T. Jones. Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So Booker T's been putting out some music you should know about. He's done re-releases of different versions of Green Onions, like a country version and a rock and roll version, and he's been putting them out on Spotify, and there'll be an album of them coming out a little later this year, next year. And also his latest album is Note by Note, and don't forget the memoir called Time is Tight, My Life Note by Note. That was Booker T. Jones. Wow. Thank you to Booker T. Jones. Thanks to Chris Smither and to Amber Rubarth, to Steve Poltz, and thank you to Karla Bonoff. Thank you to everyone here at Sonoma State University and here at the Green Music Center, and to everyone here in Sonoma County. I hope you've had fun with us. We've had fun with you. And thanks to you out there listening on the radio, because without you, there'd be no Mountain Stage. We never forget that. I hope you'll be back next week when we come to you from Clarksburg, West Virginia, with Tony Trishka's Earl Jam, the Jason Carter Band, Jerry Douglas, the Watson Twins, and the Davison Brothers Band. A lot of people on this stage who love Bill Withers, and so we thought, since we all have a connection to Bill, and he was a friend of the show and a member of the West Virginia Music Hall of Fame, we'd end the show with one of his tunes. Mountain Stage is produced by Larry Gross and Adam Harris. Senior producer is Jeff Shirley. Associate producers are John Ingram and Mallory Richards. We're engineered by Patrick Stevens, Richie Collins, Jim Raines, Brian Hensley, and Greg McGowan, with production assistance by Michael Lipton, Lance Schrader, Chris Mead, Don London, and Big J. Photographic services by Chris Morris. Promotion is coordinated by Mallory Richards, John Ingram, and Music in Motion Promotions. Special thanks to Mountain Stage members Walter and Sean Williams for their generous support. Lodging is provided by the Marriott Town Center Hotel, centrally located for the business and pleasure traveler in downtown Charleston. Why don't you go out and hear some live music wherever you are just as soon as you can? You've been listening to Mountain Stage, live performance radio from the Mountain State of West Virginia. Here we go. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lead. Okay, Amber Rubarth.
Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those little needs that you won't let show.
You just call on me, brother. Need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean. Okay, Bob Thompson. Booker T. Jones. right, Teddy Jones. All right, Chris Smither.
Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. All right, Nina Glimmer. Mr. Booker T. Jones, one more time. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean. All right, Steve Poltz.
If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me.
Call me.
If you need a friend, and I can call me when you need.
I'm coming now.
When you need a friend.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Support for Mountain Stage is provided by Bailey and Glasser and by the West Virginia Tourism Office. This is NPR.